What's happening, YouTube, Facebook, Dailymotion, and everybody involved on either platform watching the video? Anthony Marsh on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film / PRLostGalaxy2014. Welcome to my long-awaited review on the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger. And I've been waiting to get my hands on this, so far I have about 3 of Mighty Morphin down. Only need 4 more to go, which includes pink, yellow, green, and white. And therefore, by the time I do get the rest of MMPR, the team is done, and then I'll do the rest of MMPR's rogue gallery of characters like villains and monsters and such. But anyway, I finally got Billy in my collection. Let's open him up and take a gander at how he stacks up with the rest. It's Morphin time! Triceratops! And Blue Ranger power! And here we are with Billy out of the box. So let's take, before we get to the main attraction, like as with all the other reviews I've done so far, let's take a look at the accessories, which are, if you look downwards, you got the head, the fist, the miniature versions of the lance with, like daggers, the lance in its full formation, the lightning piece, and the blade blaster. But beforehand, let's go ahead and take a look at the power blaster first, because again, I don't know why here I am. Every time I bring up the original side guns of the Rangers for MMPR, I'm always calling them power blasters, knowing the fact I have 3 of the 5 weapons to build the power blaster. I mean, blade blaster. I gotta remind myself the next time when I do MMPR pink and yellow next time when I do their figures. Okay, so here we are with the Blue Ranger's blade blaster. The blade blaster is the same as like the other ones, though I've noticed the difference with this one is that the white is a little transparent on this, but there's a little bit of some white on this part of the blade blaster here, like on the Red Ranger's one. But when you compare that with the Black Ranger's blade blaster, when I got the Black Ranger last time, his blade blaster had like a bunch of white bleeding all over almost the whole entire weapon. But nevertheless, it looks pretty good as usual. And again, interchangeable hands in case you want to switch out the fists to, but while the blue and red don't have the karate chop hand or black, but if you were to get Mighty Morphin white and pink, they had the karate chop hand. But I minded Billy come with these fists, well, in case, if I lose any hands, this will come in handy. But of course, I need a hand in order for him to grip on his power lances. And yeah, so those are the fists right there. So actually, we don't really need the fists, to be honest. But now let's take a look at the 3 different pieces to the power lance. Okay, so this is the full weapon of the power lance, which looks pretty good. You can try to get a good glimpse of the Triceratops insignia on the coin dials of the weapon, up and down, in front and back, because yeah, you can also. And I also really like the way how they did the color and the blue on this one. And at least unlike when I did my review on the Beast Morphers Blue Ranger last time, we'll get to the color with this one. Then you can try to get a good glimpse of the Triceratops coins on the smaller parts of the Triceratops lances, the power lances, right here as well. And just look at the way how they did them. Wow, it's just incredible. And then now for the lightning piece. The lightning piece for the Blue Ranger for his power lance, his lightning piece is very similar to that of when I did my review on the Mighty Morphin Red Ranger. This lightning piece is very similar to the lightning piece for the Red Ranger when you insert it on the power sword, but I'll show you what I meant by that later on in the review if you're watching. So when you also put the when you put this lightning piece on the power lance, this is what you get. You get this, you get it just like this, but also you got to make sure you hook, some of the holes of the piece onto the sharp edges of the lance very well on any direction you do the power lance. And I hope for those who have this already, I hope you guys get a good sense of what I mean by that. Because sometimes when you have certain Ranger weapons like this, like Mighty Morphin Blue and Red, for example, with lightning pieces like this, sometimes you got the lightning piece dangling off the weapon, which, you gotta try to see if you can get a good hold and grip of that once you do that. So so that's the lightning piece in the weapon. The Billy head. Okay, just what I've been waiting to talk about now. Okay, focus on Billy. Now, admittedly, back in when I looked at the original product images of this online and so forth, at first the helmet sculpt looked a little too, surreal to look like David Yost was doing, looking like Billy. But at least they captured. But now that I finally got the figure, it looks very decent, because this does look like David when he played Billy, because you can tell that they did his hair well, the glasses, the smile. I know some people criticize Billy's face looking all weird and silly, but to me it's fine. I mean, it looks just like him from season 1, early season 2, when he had the glasses. But there's no way I don't know if you can't. No, you can't. I don't know if you can take the glasses off. Actually, it's best keep the glasses on, because it's glued onto the figure. When they probably do a metallic armor Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger in the future, they will give us Billy's later appearance face, when his hair was a little slicked back and he didn't need his glasses anymore. So, but again, they had to stick with his season 1, early season 2 look with the glasses. And yeah, there you go, because I'll snap on the head onto the Blue Ranger body when I do. Now, onto the Blue Ranger itself. Put the Blade Blaster inside the holster. Okay, now as for the Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger himself, this is a fairly decent attempt from Hasbro on the Blue Ranger, because, now I'm on to my now 4th Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger now, because I have I'll do a comparison later how this Blue Ranger stacks up with the other figures of him I have from over the years. And what I like about this Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger is that, okay, I need to get the focus on. What I like about the Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger is this is a more darker blue color. Okay, let me get out Beast Morphers Blue to compare the color tinting. Give me a moment. Okay, so when you compare Mighty Morphin Blue with Beast Morphers Blue had a more brighter blue. This is a more darker blue, because actually due to the fact I have an all blue background here for this video, the blue can stand out very well in this background, because this is a more darker blue as opposed to when I did the Blue Ranger for Beast Morphers last time. So you can get a good shade of blue on him, and you can see him very well, but at least I'm not chroma keying or any of that, because then he'll look very invisible. I really like the way how his articulation joints are going with him, though I have issues when, like with a lot of these Lightning figures lately, when it comes to doing knee crunches. I mean, elbow crunches I can do, but on some legs on some of these Lightning collection figures I've been reviewing all year, I've always had trouble trying to get the full fold of the knee joints, when I'm doing knee crunches. On this leg I can do it on the right leg, but left leg I'm just afraid I'm about to break Billy's leg. I don't want to do that, because then I'm going to have to spend another $20 to get this again. I don't want to do that, because how it is when it comes to these leg joints when you're doing elbow crunch, knee crunches. Now ankle pivots I can do well on this figure, so no problems with that. But with this leg, I just and same go for some other Rangers. I've always had problems crunching both their legs. So that way I can get good articulation points and good poses with them, with the knee crunches when I do that. Okay, so this is some posing, but it's not a pose Billy would do. Now, when it comes to, again, standing him, I got to get him in good position to do an iconic pose. This is my far as I can go with that attempt with this pose, but of course I can attempt doing the pose he always does when he does the Triceratops Unicorn Thunderzord Power or Blue Wolf Ninja Zord, and such. But okay, that's one pose Billy does that's iconic if you can take a good glimpse of him. Okay, got that. Also, the Power Morpher. You can get a good glimpse at the Triceratops coin if you can get it. But again, it's just what I really didn't like about these Lightning figures for MMPR. While the figures are great, but when it comes to the sculpting of the morphers on these figures, the morphers got to be so small, and the power coins you can barely see, what's on it, because they never show that. Okay, now let's take a look at Billy. Okay, let's take a look at the Blue Ranger wielding his power lance. So far, so good with the weapons, though. When I get pink and yellow, so I can finally do the blade blast, powered blaster formation. I don't know why. Every time now for the last 3, like how many times for the last 3 MMPR reviews I've done so far for this line of figures this year, I keep referring to the blade blasters as the powered blaster. The powered blaster is when you combine the weapons of the Rangers, you know, like the Red Ranger sword, Black Ranger's axe, etc., and make the blaster there, and when you got the team together. Okay, now this is the Blue Ranger with his power lance in his full form, you know, like a staff, like a trident, because that's Billy's signature weapon. And too bad they dropped using these weapons at the end of Season 2, though. I wish they'd still use them, though. Okay, and then the lightning piece on the lance, just like on the photo rendering on the package. Okay, now that's how it will look if you, yeah, just like that. But also, I want to talk about the Blue Ranger helmet a little bit, and also difficulties with the, you know, the head articulation. Okay, so when you take a look at the Blue Ranger render on the back of your package, when I finally got this Blue Ranger, when it came to the helmet recreation and the helmet sculpts, when Hasbro did the 3D photo rendering, the helmet looked just right, and although yeah, it was missing the silver around the upper part of the visor, but whereas on the final figure, the final product of the figure, you can get that rendering of the helmet. But what I also noticed that with the mouthpiece, now when you compare how they did the helmet on this looks almost like the Blue Ranger helmet from the original Mighty Morphin movie in terms of the silver streak on the top of the visor missing, and also the mouthpiece being bigger. But on the final product on the helmet, the mouthpiece is very small, and I don't know what's up with that. Plus, also, one of the many difficulties people had with this Blue Ranger, you know, I know a lot of us have this figure probably by now, including me. I just now got this. The Blue Ranger's head won't do any articulation. You can turn his head up and, you know, turn his head left and right, but sadly it can't go up and down just like the others. So I don't know what's up with that. Okay, everyone, now let's take a look at Billy, you know, unhelmeted, but I don't know about, you know, in terms of taking the helmet off, because it's going to be a little difficult because the head joint, you know, I don't know why when they did the helmet for the Blue Ranger, it's so difficult to, like, take off his helmet because I don't want to twist and break the head joint, because then I'm going to have a hard time. Well, you know, I don't know why they did the helmet like this, because it's going to be, like, hard to take off, and then I don't know, because I'm having a hard time taking off the helmet, and then when I pop the head, you know, pop the Billy head on, it's going to be difficult because, okay, oh, now I got it. But once I put the helmet back on the head, it's going to be difficult to pop on, because, okay, so for Billy, I gotta snap his head. Oh, nope, I thought this is just like when I did the Beast Morphers Blue review last time. Okay, let me see if I can do Billy this time, because I know I had problems with Robbie last time. So, okay, I had to take a break to snap the head on. Okay, so this is Billy without his helmet on. But see, I don't know with the hard, difficult head joint to take off the helmet and Billy's head off this figure. See, with the helmet, with the whole of the Blue Ranger helmet, I think what it is I don't know what made the helmet so hard to take off, but I actually snapped his head on, and then, okay, this is how Billy looks without his helmet on, like usual, like on the show, because I don't see what was the deal that they couldn't, I don't know what Hasbro was doing when they did the Blue Ranger, and like everybody else was okay. I mean, even though I had difficulties with Zach earlier, and Jason I got fine with the, you know, popping on the helmet and then popping the head on. And I know if you're not into putting the civilian heads of the Rangers on the bodies, I mean, you can always just, you know, get a bunch of any Hasbro Marvel Legends or so figure and make costumes for civilian versions of Rangers and put onto the the bodies of those Marvel Legends for the Rangers that you're getting for the Lightning Collection and put them on there. Okay, so this is how Billy looks with him holding the helmet. And yeah, a good glimpse of that, because just like on the product image, I mean, that I saw online, but it's just so hard to take off the helmet. It's just, the problem is with the head joint. Yeah, you can hear the fire trucks. Ignore that, but I know what's going on. But you can, you know, it's so hard and difficult to pop the head of Billy onto the Blue Ranger and the Blue Ranger helmet onto Bill, you know, with Billy, you know, taking the helmet off. But I don't know what's the deal. But once I get Mighty Morphin pink, yellow, green, and white, it wouldn't be probably much a problem. But it seems like it's hard on Billy than when I did Zach last time. Now let's take out Jason and Zach to compare and how they stack up with their, you know, one of their OG crewmates. Okay, so as I'm about to snap on to, you know, take on Zach's head, put that on the Black Ranger, and then also, you know, Red Ranger helmet for Jason. But until when I get also the red and black, you know, once I get, you know, the green and blue Zeo Rangers, when I get Rocky and Adam's heads, I'm going to see how they look as well with their Mighty Morphin through Zeo transitions. Because, you know, it's kind of hard that some later Rangers I get for a certain head joints for these Lightning Collection figures are going to be hard to do, because I'm having difficulty right now. Give me a moment. Seems like parts of this review is getting frustrating when you pop on Ranger heads with their civilian heads. Oh wait, this is Zach's helmet, sorry. Okay, now let's see how we stack up Jason and Zach along with Billy for the review. Once I put the helmets on, the helmets I'm fine with, but when you put on their civilian heads for some of these Rangers, it's kind of a problem. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I don't know. I know that this is not how I did Zach last time with him holding the helmet, because, you know, the more Rangers I collect, though, you know, the more Rangers I collect, and when I stack up the Rangers, you know, without the helmets on, and then you got the helmets underneath their arms, you know, doing the typical pose when the characters are being cast and stuff, or when they're taking a break from battling monsters and stuff. This is how they always would pose, and especially how in MMPR, especially when the Rangers are in the command center talking to Zordon and Alpha about the situations, they would always, even when they're in the costumes, you know, after battling a monster, this is how they would always look, because you got to capture the essence of how they always done that. Something that the 2017 movie failed to do, because that was a totally different entity of Power Rangers, but this is the real ordeal. Okay, now I gotta put Jason on the left and Zach on the right and Billy in the center, and this is how we stack up with 3 of the original 6 like this. So almost halfway. I mean, with Jason it was fine. I mean, when I did it the first time, I don't know why the second time around with him out I'm having difficulties. And I know this is not the Red Ranger helmet that, you know, like on that Dino Ranger pack that I'm about to review very, very soon when I get around that. Okay, fine. This is how I'm just going to have Jason. Okay, so here are the Mighty Morphin guys with the helmets, and with, you know, with them unhelmeted, looking exactly how they look on the show. Although Zach's head is, again, a season 2 look, but if I were to get the Dragon Shield Black Ranger and have the season 1 Zach head, that would have been way more accurate. You know, it'd be more in alignment with what they were doing. But again, MMPR is MMPR. So here's Zach, Billy, and Jason without their helmets, but even though this is Billy's video, so this is how they look. And so far, and the more I get the rest of MMPR, then when I complete the entire cast shots of the characters holding their helmets and smiling and such like that, then I can get the full picture how they always looked. So far, so good, guys. So far, so good. 2 more things before I show off before the review is over. So like I was saying earlier, if you recall that I said earlier in the video about the lightning piece on the Blue Ranger's Power Lance. Well, you see, now I'm going to take out the Red Ranger just to compare, so I have to see what was similar and different with these pieces. I know the pieces are similar because both Jason and Billy have blue lightning pieces onto their respective weapons. So when you have it, you know, Blues has the lightning haze all around the lance, or mainly the tip part, and Red has the blue lightning haze all over nearly everywhere around the sword, because they both identically almost have the same lightning piece, I think, almost, if I'm correct. But no, when really the lightning piece for the Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger is very similar to another Ranger who has a similar lightning piece, I believe, like, let's see, one of the Rangers I have in the collection, like the Gold Zeo Ranger, because when Mighty Morphin Blue came out alongside Gold Zeo, the lightning piece for Billy specifically is very similar to the one for the Gold Ranger. Because, okay, this is the lightning piece for the gold that came from the Gold Zeo Ranger, because when you think about it, this piece is very similar. Come to think of it, it is almost similar. Blue and gold. Huh. And one more thing before we wrap up for the day, guys. I need to compare this Blue Ranger with the other figures I have of him from over the years. Unfortunately, so far, while we have so many Mighty Morphin toys over the last more than 25 years, soon to be 30, I only have about 3 of these Blue Ranger toys. So let me bring out the ones that I already reviewed in the past on this channel, or wherever, if you're watching my videos or not. Okay, so these are the Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger figures I've have from over the years. Well, 3 of them from Bandai, and only 1 from Hasbro just recently. So what we have is the Hasbro Blue Ranger, and 3, well, 1 more, because I know, prepare yourselves for some nostalgia for the 90s. A old vintage 1995 movie Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger. Because, well, when I did my comparison for the Black Ranger, I didn't bring out a one that I do have, the Black Ranger one like this. This was from the 1995 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie toy line. Okay, so this is the vintage 90s movie toy version. This is the Legacy movie 1995 version. This is the Legacy Collection version. And last but not least, the Hasbro version. So there's that. What do you guys think of this video? So overall, final thoughts. The Blue Ranger figure was great, but the head joint was a hit and miss for me, because in terms of articulation problems, you know, for the head, and, you know, when switching from Billy's head to the Blue Ranger helmet on this one. But nevertheless, great figure. I highly recommend it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Anthony on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film. And I'll see you guys next time with the next Power Rangers Lightning Collection review and other reviews to come. Oh, and what could have been if Billy was the Gold Ranger during Zeo. Yeah, that was a joke at the end of the video. But a bad joke.